Hello and welcome to another edition of Visual Radio Show 520. I am honored to have Gilbert Gottfried here with us today in the studio.
Thank you. Is this a real show, or am I doing this in someone's basement?
I got news for you, Gilbert. You went from The View on Wednesday, 48 hours later, you're at Winchester High School on a Friday afternoon. The devastating power of Twitter.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I feel like I could be here with a serial killer.
Before.
Like these cameras aren't operating, or maybe he likes to just film his murders here. It's like he brings you here and he goes, yeah, it's a talk show. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're a talk show. We're on channel...
From Saturday Night Live to Friday afternoon in Winchester.
Yes.
Really come down to this.
My career is really going upwards.
Gilbert, I read the flaps on books.
I beg your pardon? Oh,
I do read the flaps on books. Oh, and I saw some dirty words down here.
Yes.
Could you please do the Gore Vidal thing? You know, the book Myron. Whenever he wanted to use a dirty word, he used one of the 7 Supreme Court justices' last names.
Oh.
So that third word, no, the second word was like, F and then D. The D word, he would say Rehnquist.
Ah.
So if you have an urge to say the D word, just say Rehnquist.
Rehnquist. Okay.
Gore Vidal did that. It works.
Yes.
And did you ever read Myron?
I want to go back to the hotel and play with my Rehnquist. Yes. 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 In fact, these jeans are tight. I have to straighten out my Rehnquist.
Well, you're a lot easier than... You're a lot easier than Al Cooper of Blood, Sweat, and Tears. One-word answers from Al. Did you do the artwork in here?
The artwork is all mine.
Is it really?
Yeah. That's
know,
perverted enough.
I was reading it on the treadmill, and that's why I thought that, my first-time author was Rubber Balls and Liquor with his book Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, yes. I've got freed from several jobs recently, but that's a whole other story.
I thought you got freed from the blonde on the back cover.
Oh, yeah. No, she had to get freed from me. That was, we went in to do this cover shot, and St. Martin's Press said, we've got this blonde in a sexy outfit. And I was posing with her, and then finally they said, I don't know, would you mind, Gilbert, if you got down on the floor, like right between her legs? And I said, all right, they're professionals. I figure they must know what they're doing. I won't fight them. And so I stayed there for about a month and a half. Yeah, I could, just making sure we got it right.
Do you like the Beatles?
Sure.
Because as I'm reading the book, I'm just thinking Beatles, Lucy in the Sky, and all the conspiracy theories about Paul is dead and this and that. So, I'm on the treadmill, and all of a sudden I thought, that's the guy I'm going to be interviewing tomorrow.
Yes, you finally realized that.
It's the secret hidden message. St. Martin's does that with every book.
Yeah. Cough. Yeah.
This is your first St. Martin's book.
Yes. See, that makes it clear what it is.
See, they do that with all the authors, but I knew that because I interview so many of the St. Martin's people.
And this is pointing upwards. See, this is before Viagra and after. See, so just make sure. In fact, we could film it like a little porn film now. Now, if I could just have someone going, oh, yes.
I thought that, but you said it, thank God. I run a clean show, believe it or not. Boy, you're funny, this funny in the afternoon.
Oh, yes. It gets my Rehnquist going.
You've got to read Myron now by Gore Vidal. You've got to read. It's just hilarious when you see the Supreme Court judges for every 7 dirty words.
Yes.
It was brilliant, and it stayed with me my whole life. Sidney Bernstein from Beverly Hills Cop 2 is my main inspiration. That's why you're here.
Yes, yeah.
He was my inspiration.
See, and in that movie, it's funny. Whenever they show it on TV, like the biggest laugh that got in the theaters is when I yelled bitch.
It was brilliant.
Or when I yelled Rehnquist, I don't know.
It was great.
Or, and when they show it on TV to this day, they cut out bitch bitch like that. They say bitch on little kids' sitcoms now. On the Disney Channel, they say it.
The chemistry between the 4 actors in that bit, it was brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Because it was in, and I talk about it in the book, it's like, when I had known Eddie before from Saturday Night Live, but I didn't get it through him. He didn't even know I was going to be in the picture until he saw me on the set. And the original thing was he comes in, he goes, we have some parking tickets here, and I go, is there some way we can avoid this unpleasantness? And I give him $200. So I just ignored the script altogether and just said anything that went into my head. And Eddie just like immediately played along with it, and we were just playing back and forth. So that whole scene, as written, was just like totally ad-libbed.
Genius.
Yeah.
You'll break my arm.
Oh, yes, yes.
You're robbing me. I'm robbing you.
Yeah.
But you see, you influenced me. My whole career was built on that, and look where we are.
Yeah, it's like I have people come up to me on the street still, like when I'm walking down the street, and they'll go, I've got something in this hand, and and it's, they know it like word for word. I couldn't repeat that scene now, but they know it word for word.
It was as iconic as Ed Ames throwing the tomahawk on Johnny Carson.
Oh yes, yes, and it hits him in the Rehnquist. Yes.
I just did a profile of Ed Ames last week for a paper.
Oh yes.
And I had to watch that, so I figured you knew about it.
Oh yeah.
But it is an iconic moment, kind of like that.
Oh yes, yes.
That it stays with people.
Yeah, that was amazing. That what could take off like that.
So that's the only compliment I'll give you. I'll show.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll just sit here and wait till the show ends.
No, but
yeah.
I love how you investigate star power.
Yeah, because I mean that's the thing, and being a celebrity, it's like, you know how they have like the numbers of the national depth, and it's just the numbers are changing like like in like just less than a quarter of a second. They're just going, and that's the way it is with celebrities. You go, okay, who am I bigger? Like I had an autograph signing for the book, and when I was there, I was going, okay, what other celebrities have written books that have done autograph signings here? And they go, okay, we had so-and-so. And I go, how many people did they get? And then, so it's constantly like that. You go, well, he got more people, but I think I got more than that other guy did. And you're just trying to figure where your name is fitting in. I'm like somewhere between, like, I think somewhere underneath the first daughter from Roseanne or something. It's like, you never really know. You just...
We're happy to have you here, and you're fun.
Yes.
You know that.
Yes, and I'm doing his show, which lets you know where my career is right now. It's just...
Before Wayne's World was... I am. You realize that?
Yes.
No, I started this in '79.
Yes.
You've really hit the bottom.
Yes.
When Leslie West and the Guess Who used to come to Jumbo's in Somerville, I used to call it the last rung on the rock and roll ladder. This is the TV equivalent.
Oh, yes.
The last bastion of public access. But I do like your book, and I'm happy that you're here. And you have a website called gilbertgottfried.com.
Yes.
That's Gottfried. Even though he got freed, it's gottfried.com. And the Twitter is always fun.
Yes, at Real Gilbert.
At Real Gilbert. And I followed Gilbert about 2 days ago.
Yes, and then I got a cop to tell him to stop following me. He followed me into the men's room, and that's when it got a little too much. And I said, officer, please. He's standing behind me at the urinal. I'm getting nervous.
Gilbert, my wife would love that. My husband would kill me. But my wife's dead and my husband's in Florida, so I guess you're free for the evening, whatever. No, I got a show to do tonight.
See, you should have a book out explaining that.
You don't even know who my late wife was.
Yes.
She was married to Paul McCartney's guitar player.
Now,
she ended up on public access. This is where you all end up. They told me St. Martin's wanted me to break the news to you.
So your ex-wife was sitting there in public access going, I was practically married to a Beatle, and here I am. It's like, yeah.
Well, as I said to her, you wanted Paul, you got Denny. She goes, how do you know second best wasn't first best?
Yeah.
I said, I just know.
Yeah.
I go on an airplane with her, Gilbert. This is about you, but you got to hear the story. I go on an airplane with her, and I think about her conquest. Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Steve Marriott from Humble Pie, they're all dead. And we're going up in the air, and she just looked at me and smiled, and I just wondered if the plane would land. But she's dead too, and here we are.
Yes, well, that certainly brings a damper to the show.
So you're talking about...
Start telling an amusing story, and I say, oh, she's dead. It's like, gee, thanks, okay.
She could have been on the cover, but no, it's an amazing achievement to get a book out, especially with how busy you are. And what I would love for your second book is all the roles you played. It's just an amazing story in itself. And I'm being serious here. Being a historian, one side of me, I love what you've done, and just chronicling that in a book would be really cool, I think.
Yeah. It's funny. In the book, I start talking about, growing up and stuff. Like a guy who knows me, like a friend of mine, read the book, and he said to me, he goes, there are certain parts of the book that seem very warm and touching and revealing, and then it quickly veers off into like immature and tasteless. And he said, it's kind of like talking to you in person. And I said, so I guess I did something. I guess it is a personal book.
It reminded me of Marie Osmond's biography.
Yes.
I counted 26 eyes on her on each page, and I multiplied it when I put it in my review. You did the same thing. It's like, I was thinking, this is Marie Gottfried.
Yes, me and Marie Osmond get compared constantly. And because, I'm also a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll.
Have you ever been to the Harvard Coop?
No.
They're all like me. All your fans that show up tonight, it's like 300 clones of me. Have fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be here. I'm smart enough to be here. You're going to be there. But it is an amazing achievement to get a book out. When did you think you'd start writing?
The exact second I thought I'd start writing was, and this I also talk about in there, it's like in movies, like I love when people come up to me and go, I wrote this script I think you'd be perfect for, and I think, I don't really care about a script because the script is meaningless in the business. You got to get a movie or TV deal first. The script comes after. And I remember one time at a party with this producer, and it was like, he was talking to a bunch of other Hollywood types, and I forget exactly who it was. I say Tom Cruise, but he says, Tom Cruise owes us another movie, and we've got a distribution deal with this studio. We've got a music label that will do the entire soundtrack. We've got a director who also is willing to do this movie for us for cheap. And then when all that's explained, he goes, okay, what'll this movie be about? And that's really it.
And honest to God, I'm not joking. I was confused reading the book, reading that segment. That's how confusing it is.
Yes, that's it. It's like they got to put the movie together first. And then the script is like, I guess they have to talk to each other. And what'll it be? A comedy, a western, a love story? What do you want here? And so with the book, my agent went to a few publishing houses, and the one that took the bite and offered to pay said, okay, sign here, and I signed there. And then I said, I got to write a book now.
Well, it's a lot of pages, so it's a lot of work.
Yes.
And people, sprinkled in the book, and I love when authors do this. I'm not patronizing, because if I didn't like it, you'd know it. Extra special bonus, clip and save joke to justify the title.
Yes.
You don't want people really clipping. I mean, I collect books. I wouldn't want to clip your book.
Yeah. And I'd hate it, and it would have a really bad resale value if pages were torn out of it.
Clip and save joke number 11. In Italian, a Jew. On Italian, a Polish gay and a midget walk into a bar. The bartender says, "What is this, a joke?"
Yeah.
These are cool. So it's nice to have a book that has little quips in it, so you don't have to keep reading.
Yeah, there's some like a bunch of like old jokes that are in the clip and save pages that are really like those dumb jokes. Like if you can't think of anything to say, you tell people these jokes.
Would you like to read any part of your book?
Sure, but I'd have to find a part.
And if you don't mind, I've got a co-host in Berkeley. If you don't mind, we call him, because you were on The View with Bette Midler.
Yes.
That was great. That was funny. And I love Bette. And my friend Buzzy Linhart worked with Bette and Carly Simon and Jimi Hendrix, and now he's down here with us by phone even. That's even worse, right?
Oh, yeah.
Working with Jimi Hendrix and Carly Simon, and then you're on an Access show by phone only.
By phone, he's not even here in person.
I mean, it's pathetic.
So that's, boy, I thought I was rock bottom.
He might not even pick up. He's lazy.
Maybe he's dead. You never know.
He's halfway there. I can say that because he's not on the phone yet.
Yes.
Oh, he ain't picking up. Good. We'll do the show without him. My Brilliant Career. That's hilarious.
Hello, Wincam.
Hello, Wincam. Yes, is Buzzy Linhart there?
Let me see. I'll find out. Is Buzzy here?
I've got Gilbert Gottfried on from London. He's in London at the royal wedding.
Oh yeah. Where is he?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
is
think
he
this
on the
guy
line?
has narcolepsy. Yeah, it's yeah.
But
Oh,
Hello?
it's that lag that happens because he's so.
What? Who do you want to speak to?
do that again.
Who's calling?
I know what I think you're trying to say.
Yeah.
So, Buzzy, you were on the Cause show.
It was called Cause. Yes, it was. And
The fellow next to me was on the Cosby show.
When did you receive this head injury? Yes.
it was either just prior to or after.
I hate to be calling you in mid-stroke.
Don't be hating. I'll try to. I don't know whether
We'll keep this interview short so we can call the ambulance for you afterwards.
He's usually good, Gilbert. I'm sorry. I'll apologize.
I used to be funny.
Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to Dick Clark right now. It's Could you do the countdown for New Year's?
Which year?
Hey, Buzzy, do you remember John Wayne Bobbitt?
He's hard to forget, but it's his surgeons always remember him.
No, it's his joke. It's your joke. You're supposed to say no, but his surgeons do. You can't even tell your own friggin' joke.
He can't even pronounce the word hello. So, I mean, for him to tell a joke doesn't really...
Do you remember John Wayne Bobbitt? No, but his surgeons do. And
Yeah. Well, it took an hour and a half, but it sure did work, that joke.
Rehnquist.
Yes, they cut his Rehnquist off.
Hey, Buzzy, maybe we'll call you tonight.
Okay, I'll stop laughing.
That's the way it usually is when I'm on stage.
Hey,
The
Gilbert,
audience goes, okay, we'll stop laughing.
Gilbert was with your friend Bette Midler 2 days ago. She bought you a wheelchair. It was the wrong appendage. How was Bette?
She seemed nice. She knew who I was and was complimentary. So in that way, I say she's a great entertainer and great human being.
Buzzy wrote her signature song, When she finds out you were on the air with him, she'll never talk to you again.
Oh, yeah.
Or she'll stop sending royalties.
Anyway, Buzz, I wanted you to meet Gilbert Gottfried. Anything you want to say to Gilbert?
Is there any words you can pronounce?
Not this.
Do you want someone to slap you on the back of the head to wake you up?
No, it's okay. I just fell down.
How long exactly have you been dead?
Are you there, Buzzy? Did you die?
How could you tell?
Every time Gilbert speaks, a little bit more.
Does it bother you, those vultures circling your house?
He's laughing because you're telling the truth.
Can we get someone to contact the living for you?
To do what?
Yeah,
To contact the living for you. Listen to him.
you know, I wish John Edward were here. He could go. I'm speaking to someone. I think they wrote something, a song. They wrote. I'm getting a bet something. Midler.
Midler on the roof. I don't know. He played drums for Jimi Hendrix.
Oh well, so they're both dead. It would be easier to hold a conversation with Jimi Hendrix now.
Through the eye of a needle.
I could talk to Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin now and get more coherent answers.
From the cause show to public access, does it really come down to this for you two? Well, actually, St. Martin's wanted me to just, Buzzy, he has to acclimate to his new life now that he's kind of entered the realm where you are. And
Yeah.
we wanted you to introduce him to it.
So I think by tomorrow I'll be telling jokes in a subway station. That's basically it.
Will it be London or New York?
Yes.
Anyway, Buzzy, thank you very much for letting us call you.
I think you guys are beautiful. Dr. Baby, you're going away.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you, Gilbert.
Yeah, thank you. And tell Donald Duck.
Last time I heard you.
Yes.
He is usually a lot more funny than that.
Yeah. Oh, I can only take your word for it.
I'm embarrassed. Anyways, back to the book.
Yes.
Back to your film career. I really knew, I was warned not to do that, and I did it. But cheating death. I was on Route 93, about 10 years ago, and there was ice on the highway, Gilbert, and these two cars were speeding at around 11 at night, and then they started spinning like that. And me and my friend Matt were in the car, and they almost hit us. We cheated death. I mean, it was scary.
It hit that guy on the phone, though, I think.
You really cheated death?
Yeah.
That's a real story? That wasn't a joke?
Yeah. I had been feeling sick and in pain for a while, and then I go to a doctor, and when I get there, I made the mistake. I went first to the men's room and peed, and then I thought, oh, I wonder if that was a good idea, because they're probably going to want a urine sample. So later on, the doctor's examining me and touching my stomach and everything and taking my temperature. And he goes, well, it could be your appendix. It could be nothing at all. Go home. We'll run some tests. In the meantime, give us a urine sample. And then I go in and I can't get any out because I already peed. And then they're like knocking on the door going, did you fill up the cup yet? And I go, no. And then they go, well, maybe turn on the faucet. That helps. And I turn, that didn't help. And they said, you want to drink some water? That didn't help. And then finally I started shaking. And I had like these convulsions, right? Like chills. And he saw me and he said, "You're going right to the hospital now." And then finally, after 3 days in the hospital, they said, "Well, it's your appendix burst, and we're going to have to get you into surgery." And it was like, I spoke, one of the people who visited me at the hospital was Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller. Yeah. And the first thing he said to me was, "You survived what killed Houdini." Because it was like peritonitis. It poisons.
Wow. That's what killed Houdini. Oh, wow.
Yes. And I remember I ran into a doctor. I ran into this guy in the street, and he told me he was one of the doctors who had operated on me.
Wow.
And I said, "How did I look in there?" And he goes, "Let's say you were very lucky." Yeah, so that was...
Lucky's better than being buzzy.
Oh, yeah. Anything's better than being buzzy. That's...
We'll speak after the show.
Yes.
Would you mind reading some of your book? I'm having a blast here with you, Gilbert, and the book is fun. And I just wanted to clarify that because I don't know when you're telling a joke or if you're being serious in your book.
Yeah, so, okay, let me...
So the cheating death was a serious thing, and we're glad you survived that.
Okay, thank you. You're the first person to tell me that.
And maybe the last.
Oh. Now, yes, okay, let's see if I could find it. Had I known, I would have been bringing out my Post-it notes. Okay. Where did he go? The hell is... Oh, should I read? Yeah. Okay. I'm reading. This guy's going to go take a dump or something. It's such a professional show. Okay, I'll start here. Oh, wait, I just remembered another problem child anecdote. This one might be funnier than the one I just told you, so try to put that one out of your mind. This one is from the sequel, Problem Child 2, not to be confused with Look Who's Talking To, in which I dance with John Travolta. He still calls me. He won't accept the fact that it's over between us. I guess that makes this sequel a sequel to my first Problem Child anecdote. Anyway, in Problem Child 2, there's a big food fight scene. Maybe you remember it, maybe you don't, but trust me, it's in there somewhere. John Ritter's character is in this scene with his son, Junior. My character, Mr. Peabody, shows up with an impossibly hot-looking 6-foot model actress type. The girl is wearing an outfit to show off her quite magnificent cleavage. I was going to say majestic cleavage, but I wasn't sure how to spell it. Plus, I thought it would be overstating. However you choose to describe her breasts, I call them Abbott and Costello, if you must know. I gave them much more attention than I gave the script. So there I was, admiring the work of Laurel and Hardy, when I looked up and we saw we were on a break. The writers were huddled with a director at the corner of the set having a powwow. Me, I was off by myself having a teepee. This went on for quite some time until the writers called the cast together and told us they had come up with a way to improve the scene. From the excited looks on their faces, I could only imagine it was the most brilliant, scathingly funny scene. They decided the food fight would be funnier. Junior started by throwing a meatball at my comely co-star, which was supposed to land squarely between Leopold and Loeb. Naturally, every prop guy on the set volunteered to be standing over Simon and Garfunkel to make sure the meatball hit its mark. In which case, it was this well-chested actress dropping a meatball between her tits. Now, I don't know anything about the emotional depth of meatballs, but I guess this was the happiest meatball in the world. We were all pretty happy, I recall. It was a good day to be a movie star. So I said to the director, I feel this scene needs one more beat to make it work. Then I suggested, unselfishly, that once the meatball finds its mark, my character should reach down between my co-star's breast and try to fish the meatball out. The director considered this for a moment and flashed me a look that I took to mean, aha, this is why we get someone like Gottfried, for his dedication to the craft of filmmaking. So it was agreed I would stick my hand down this actress's top and dig out the meatball. Being a perfectionist that I've always been, we did the scene several times that day, with me shoving my hands inside and outside all over my co-star's monumental breasts, or let's just call them Hall and Oates. For some reason, I was never fully happy with my performance and kept insisting we do another take. I was determined to get it right. Finally, at take 187, the director yelled, "Cut, that's a print." Now, I know better than to go against my director, and yet I objected strongly. I felt there was still more I could do with the scene, and suggested that perhaps another meatball be thrown into the actress's twat, which would really punch up the picture. Had he agreed to do it, I would have offered to pay overtime for the crew.
And now that you've read from your movie Abbott and Costello Meet Rehnquist, we can only air this after 10 o'clock at night.
Yes.
But maybe if I just bleep out
Yes,
those words, we
bleep.
can do it because we're on all times a day.
Yeah, you could bleep those.
How dare you?
Yes. Because to find like a clean word here, it's like you look through it and go, there's an if and an and. Oh, those are clean.
But you couldn't have said a Supreme Court's justice's name, Stephen Breyer. You couldn't have said her
Yes,
Breyer.
yes,
The
her-
Breyer patch.
Her big pendulous briars.
Okay. Rubber Balls and Liquor, Gilbert Gottfried. Any movies in the future?
Yes, I'll be an usher. After people see me on this show, I will be lucky to get an usher's job.
No more 30 Rock, I guess. Boy, I did have a lot of questions. But, you know, you've scared me. You've intimidated me.
Yes.
No, 30 Rock, fame, being around all those people.
Well, 30 Rock, I was never on 30 Rock. I was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, but it says 30 Rock in your resume.
Oh,
You
that's
did one
right, because
episode.
that's where I did one episode of 30 Rock. It was just my voice.
And how do you do that? What happens when you do a voiceover? Is it the show all done and you go in and do you watch it?
Well, yes, I had to study myself for a while to get the voice right. It was funny. It was in an episode where a guy is supposed to be an impressionist doing an imitation of me, Christopher Walken, and Martin Scorsese. So they actually got all three of us to do our own voices and just put it in, dub it in to this guy talking. And as it is always the case, the real people never sound as good as the imitations do.
Interesting.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
You answered my question. That was what I wanted.
Well, I remember a story. They were doing a commercial that had to be with Bogart and Bacall. And they got the real Lauren Bacall, and they got some guy to imitate Bogart. And they had to play around with it, because at that point, Lauren Bacall's voice was much deeper than the guy doing Humphrey Bogart.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, yeah, the years had gone by. And
Yeah.
I have a question about actors like Pee Wee Herman. Remember the
Yes.
famous Pee Wee Herman
I
incident?
talk about that in the book.
Did he do that intentionally?
You mean play with his Pee-wee?
Intentionally
Yes. Yes.
to break the typecast.
I kind of doubt it. I think there are easier ways.
Yeah, I thought so too, but I was just wondering your opinion. You know.
Yeah, because with that, he got arrested, for those who don't know, in a porn theater for doing what you do in a porn theater. I mean, it's not really that shocking. If someone is in a porn theater with their pants closed, I'd be really amazed. And so he was, playing with Pee-wee, and they arrested him. And the worst thing that he said, I heard, was when they arrested him, he said, "No, I'm Pee-wee Herman," which is the worst thing, because it's, "Oh, we've arrested Pee-wee Herman. This is great." And I say in the book that, well, the worst thing would have been to say, "I'm Gilbert Gottfried," because then the cops would have said, "Who?" and then they arrested him, and I say too, like, how did they prove he was doing that? Like, did they dust for prints? And so I went on, shortly after that happened, I went on the Emmys, and they wanted me to be a presenter. So, and they said, just have fun with it. And so I said, I can really sleep better at nights knowing Pee-wee Herman's been arrested. If masturbation's a crime, I should be on death row.
Well, the reason I brought it up, you mentioned star power, and I was just thinking, the typecasting of being Pee-wee Herman, a child star. Hollywood does that. And you've done a marvelous job of being able to navigate the waters and have this incredible career. And I'm saying that in all honesty.
Yeah, I've always said my career walks the tightrope in between early morning children's programming and hardcore porn. It's been lucky so far.
Oh, so this isn't the pitch. This is kind of like somewhere in the bottom
yes,
echelon.
Yeah,
We're not
yes.
the bottom.
Yes.
Okay, good.
No, you are the bottom. Don't get me wrong.
Can I quote you?
I can't lie.
Oh, thank you.
No, you're as rock bottom.
Bill Press called me the king of cable TV in Mass, and he calls me rock bottom. I can't.
Somebody holding a shoebox at me saying, "Hey, it's a camera," is more impressive.
Jodie Foster was so much nicer to me. How come you're not? Where's my wife? Oh, she died.
Call her now. She could talk clearer than that guy.
She's dead, but I can call my husband.
Yes.
I got Gilbert to laugh. That's something. So people get typecast, and I really thought Pee-wee did that intentionally. I thought that he self-sabotaged.
Well, see, he may have, maybe it was a subconscious thing.
Okay.
That could possibly be it. But I don't think consciously he would go, "Hey, I want to get arrested with my pants around my ankles." But I heard a lot of stories with, what's his name? Donny Osmond.
Really? I haven't heard any.
Yeah, Donny Osmond, after, he, for a while, he hated that it was, Donny and Marie, and how cute it was, and how wholesome old American, and he wasn't taken seriously. And for a while, he started going to all of these nightclubs, hanging out with these rock stars. And he was getting his picture taken with these drugged out rock stars, hoping that would look who I'm partying with. And they were even advising him, maybe you should get arrested for doing drugs. That would help. It was like career advice.
He did a great 80s record that was very hip. So he was able to break out of the Donny Osmond thing. Which brings us to Karen Carpenter, and I'm being, respectful here.
Who we have on the phone now.
But remember the famous Rolling Stone interview where they were dropping the F-bomb?
Oh, yes.
Because they wanted to break out of the wholesome white bread Carpenter's image. But she got, and after her passing, she got more street cred when people realized she was a bulimic. See,
that's very funny, and they've got this kind of, it's hipper and an immortality, whereas they would have fallen to the wayside like those, a million 70s groups that you kind of remember, and if you say their name, you would have gone, what did they sing exactly? I sort of remember. But yeah, with her dying of bulimia, that was she's solid now. She's stamped in, and they'll be around forever.
If only Mama Cass had only given her half of that ham sandwich.
Oh, yes.
They'd both be alive today.
Yes.
You've heard that one.
Yes.
That's older than me.
Yeah. And, well, there was another joke that was, who would have thought that Joe Cocker would outlive Karen Carpenter?
No, that's not even a joke.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it is amazing.
Joe's a great singer, but like Grace Slick said it. She said it could have been her or Janis Joplin. It was just the luck of the draw. And who's the lucky one? Is Janis luckier than Grace?
Yeah. And there was another Karen Carpenter joke that says, what does it say on Karen Carpenter's tombstone? Well, I still say you can never be too rich.
Okay.
He's trying to figure it out.
I'm
See, the term is you can never be too rich or too thin. That's the term. So on Karen Carpenter's tombstone, it says, well, I still say you can never be too rich. Look who I'm dealing with. This is horrible.
This
Please,
is your penance.
someone come to the studio and shoot me. I beg you. You'd be putting me out of my misery.
This is the penance for any past sins.
Yes.
So the movie version of your book they want to do right over here in Winchester. They have a nice little pond, and there's geese,
Yes,
and there's ducks, and then you can tell them all the ducks to get the flock out of here.
yes. See?
You want to insult me? I can come back with them too. I'm a little better than this. This is too early in the day for me.
Oh, yeah.
I hang out with Buzzy Linhart. You haven't figured that out yet? My wife is dead. She hung out with Jimi Hendrix. I should be dead by proxy.
You know, the worst
thing is that God sent me Gilbert Gottfried. He thinks he's going through hell. I'm the one living it. I have to deal with him. This isn't about you. This is about my punishment. Say it, Sidney. He wants you to say it, son of a what?
son of a bitch.
My sentiments exactly.
Yes.
So where is your book tour taking you? From The View to here. I can't. Howard Stern. Is Howard Stern as much fun as me? He started in Newton at WNTN over there in Newton.
See, Howard Stern has at least 2 people listening.
I've got
That's
one.
the difference. Oh, you got one.
I have to bring a listener.
Yes. You have to pay him off with a tuna salad sandwich just to get him here.
No, this is really pathetic. I'm one of the oldest Access TV producers in the country. I've been stuck in Groundhog Day since 1979. He's one of the second oldest, and you're here. We're beyond Wayne's World. I really started in 79 before everyone else. We're both in hell together, Gilbert. And there's no escape like the Hotel California.
Yeah.
They say 5 minutes, but you can check out anytime you want. But you're stuck here. You walk out that door and you're back in this store.
Yes.
Like Keanu in The Matrix. He just can't get out. You're stuck.
We're in hell. Hitler's walking by, and it's like...
You're talking about Hall & Oates, and I'm talking about Rehnquist. Sick minds think alike. You must read Myron. We've got 5 minutes left. You read your book.
But
Really,
those 5 minutes will feel like a month.
they will, because then you're going to do the wonderful show. At least I'm a professional. Then I'm throwing you to the amateurs. They're stuck.
Your one audience member walked out. That's what an awful show is.
He's my sports show. He's my sports host, and you're not Kurt Schilling.
One person who's in the audience, he works here, and even he left.
Yeah, but the photographer was here. You'll be on the front page of the paper tomorrow. You just don't know what we're going to write.
Yes, and that paper's the penny saver.
First impression, lasting tributes. You must read whenever you whenever you are having a problem with the show, you just pick up the book and read.
Yeah. See, that's what reminded me when I was reading this out loud. I did an audio version of the book, and that was torture.
Truncated, of course.
Yes, whatever that meant. Why is he using these big words? But yeah, I did.
Kind of like edited.
No. Full from beginning to end.
Oh my God! Did you do it in your car or on the plane?
Yeah. I guess it's for both those things, and it's like it was done in 3 days.
Non-stop?
Yeah. And I was like, I'd go home in the evening, but the first 2 days, my throat was shot to hell. I was tired and depressed. By the third day, I pulled back entirely, and I was like Mr. Rogers on Quaaludes or something. I was doing it and then I went into the nightclub. It'll sound like bipolar disorder.
They're going to send it to the moon in a time capsule so people will...
Oh, yes.
Can I get your autograph?
No, I'm sorry.
No problem. This has been Visual Radio, show number 520. We were scheduled to have Ray Manzarek of The Doors, but we got Gilbert Gottfried instead.
Same thing.
No, Ray played Light My Fire before he came on the stage. Oh, I'm forcing him to give me a Gilbert, no, I hope you have a lot of luck with your book.
Thank you.
That shouldn't be hard, seeing the way things are today. No, we're honored to have you here.
Once again, it shouldn't be hard.
Did you see that? Did you see that before I showed that to you?
That's the point. Don't you see that? That the bottle is a phallic symbol and it's got
did you
two
turn it
balls
upside down?
it?
Did you turn it
What?
up?
What? You're telling me that a penis could be down or up? You just found this out?
I was on the treadmill reading it. I nearly fell off.
What? Do you want this? Maybe they should print penis with an arrow pointing at it.
What hour can you play this program?
Like saying, this looks like a penis.
Gilbert, it's a lot of fun. Thank you very much for being on Visual Radio. From the view to visual, it's a long way down. The last ladder of the rock and roll, the last rung on the rock and roll ladder. Gilbert, thank you.
Gee, Joe Franklin laughs at this show.
I think that's our show for this evening. Credits are rolling. Oh, thank God.
Another